Hey, what is up internet? This is Nirupam, you are watching TKNet, and before I get onto this video, I want to thank each and every one of you who have supported this channel and subscribed to it. We have already reached the 100 subscriber mark in less than a month, which is absolutely mind-blowing. So thank you so much, and now let's get started. We'll be checking out Zhiyun's Smooth Q gimbal for smartphones. Now, if you're not aware about gimbals, have you seen a shot in a movie like this? Or like this? Well, that was shot on a gimbal. So a gimbal basically stabilizes the footage by adjusting its position according to the external movement, and it makes sure that the device you're shooting from remains at the same place. So this gimbal from Zhiyun was launched last year and is currently available in India for a price of Rs 11,000. So without wasting any further time, let's quickly unbox this thing and see if all this is even worth the price. So inside the box we get the user guide. We get a really nice case which gives it a mini guitar look. We get a shoulder strap and a USB to micro USB cable. Now to set this thing up, you first need to understand the whole mechanism of how a gimbal works. The Smooth Q here is a 3-axis gimbal, meaning it can stabilize the footage through a 3-axis movement. There is a roll axis, a pan axis and a tilt axis. And before you go and switch on this gimbal, you first need to balance your smartphone on the gimbal. Now to do that, simply open up the screw which is located besides the roll axis and adjust the arm horizontally until you get your smartphone balanced. You can also use your smartphone in portrait mode by simply adjusting the screw at the back of the mount, just like this. Now the Zhiyun Smooth Q can take up to a payload of 220 grams and a smartphone of 6 inches, although I did test this thing with the Galaxy Note 8 and it worked just fine, but without a case. One really cool feature about this gimbal is that it can actually charge your phone while you shoot with it, so it acts like a power bank, although it does take a bit of effort to balance the smartphone with the charging cable. And talking about the charge, the Smooth Q took about 2.5 hours to charge, and Zhiyun claims a battery life of 12 hours, which was kind of true during my testing. Okay, so now that we have our smartphone balanced on this gimbal, let's quickly power it on. How cool does that look? Apart from the power button, you get a bunch of controls on the gimbal as well. You get a really cool joystick which you can use to control the gimbal manually. Then you get a mode button to switch between various modes, and you also get a zoom slider which actually works pretty awful on Android devices. On iOS devices it's much better. So yeah, okay, so essentially you get 3 modes: a pan following mode, a locking mode and a following mode. So by default, the Zhiyun Smooth Q gimbal goes into the pan following mode. A single press would then go to a locking mode, and if you double press, it will go to the following mode. I know this is a bit confusing and would have wanted a simpler solution to this, but I eventually ended up going the hit and trial way and tested each mode before hitting the record button. The pan axis can go full 360 degrees, which is kind of unique to this gimbal, while the tilt and roll axis can go up till 320 degrees. I will quickly roll up the comparison footage for you to show what this gimbal can actually do to your normal video shooting experience. But things do not end here. You also get a companion app for this gimbal, or any Zhiyun gimbal for that matter, called the ZY Play app. It is available both on Play Store and App Store, and it does bring a bunch of features like time lapse, moving time lapse, and you can even adjust the speed of each axis, which is my personal favorite feature of this app. But if you ask me, I haven't really had a good experience with the ZY Play app. I have experienced a ton of app crashes, and then there is the tracking feature, which is probably a lot of you would actually use the ZY Play app, but even the tracking mode almost failed to track me whenever I try to use it. Perhaps the biggest difference between the Zhiyun Smooth Q and the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 is the companion apps you get with both these gimbals. The one on the Osmo will work better any day. Okay, let's come to the point now. Should you be actually buying a smartphone gimbal? Well, if you're into mobile filmmaking or a vlogger, a gimbal to your gear list would definitely upgrade your production. But if you're someone who likes to shoot casual videos and upload it on social media, this thing would probably not worth the investment. So yeah, this was a quick video on smartphone gimbals. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next one.